Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Monday night panel and also transfer deadline day. So we'll try and keep you up to date. But again, if anybody sees anything, please let us know in the comments if you see anything before we do. So I'm going to bring Vic on straight away because we've got quite a bit to go through. So let's bring Vic on and hello.
Hello, Chris. Hello. How are you? How are you?
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Good. I am suffering a little bit. I am suffering a little bit with a lurgy, so apologies if I cough and splutter throughout the course of the next hour or so. Anyway, I'm ready for Harrogate tomorrow. Who isn't ready for a 25-hour journey? Sorry?
Man flu.
No, I generally don't get that. It's just a cold. You know what I mean? I'm just, that's it. It's waiting in the winter. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So there's a few things. Oh, go on then. You go.
I'll do SAS because there's not much of it. Yeah. Just a few seats left for Shrewsbury. West Swindon 9:30. This is Valentine's Day, I think it's fair to say, isn't it? Just a few seats left for Shrewsbury. West Swindon 9:30. The Nigel Eady County Ground at 10 o'clock. £23 for non-members. For members, see what I mean? £23 for members, £25 for non-members. Everything else is sold out at the moment, although they are taking reserve names for Barnet, but a third coach is unlikely. So if you want to go to Shrewsbury on the 14th, West Swindon 9:30, Nigel Eady County Ground 10 o'clock. £23 members, £25 non-members. There you go. That's the SAS news.
Okay. You may well have seen in the introduction the picture of Steve Finney. And we've had lots and lots of comments on our posts we put out today. And I just want to read you some of them. Paul says he was a nice bloke. We've got top bloke. There's only one Stevie Finney walking in the Finney Wonderland, which we will never forget. Great goal poacher and finisher. Again, walking in the Winter Wonderland. Top class, rest in peace. Wow, Carlisle away, late goal on his debut. Far too soon. Love Steve Finney, class player and class bloke. Again, living in a Finney Wonderland. There's only one Stevie Finney. But we've also had one really nice comment, and I'll read this to you. It's from Steve Finney's wife. This is so lovely to see. Thank you for remembering such a wonderful man. Taken way too early. He is deeply missed every day. So lovely that Debbie is still following the town as well on socials, so where she's seen that. So that's lovely.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. And obviously, he's a much missed player and he wasn't with the town that long, but what an impact he made. What a fabulous player he was, and much missed, absolutely. Also on the introduction, you would have seen Harry McCurdy with one of our silhouettes, and we are looking for more of those because they went down pretty well on Saturday, I think. There they are, look at that. Obviously, one is Jan Alger Fjortoft, one is Harry McCurdy. one which is most popular I've seen anyway is the two Rafa De Vita and Paolo Di Canio at Northampton running towards the away end. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll collate all these and we'll find out which is the most popular and try and get some more of them done. So really glad about the way you thought about them. It's great.
So yes, what we're going to try and do is put them along the wall, any that have got iconic poses or things like Di Canio and that. So please let us know. We will look to buy them, but if anybody wants to buy one in memory of somebody or your favourite player and you would like to buy one, they're around about £200. But we're very welcome to offers, or if you just suggestions of who with what pose and everything. And I will mention there was a tweet on Saturday regarding them. We'll just put this out there. That's Dan Designs. As you would have noticed, they are Dan Designs outlines. Dan had forgotten that he had actually given us permission, and he had actually made the silhouettes prints for us. And he said about he hadn't been told about them. But we've had a very lovely apologies from Dan, and he has put another tweet out as well. So, but just to cover that we didn't go ahead and do something that we shouldn't. So, hopefully that's all right.
Yes.
One more thing before we get onto the panel. After Bromley, we had quite a few complaints from the away fans, and as I said I would, we sent a note to Bromley, and I went through their supporters group, which I think is only fair instead of going straight to the club. They have come back to me. I really sort of a long email, but they're really sorry that we had the problems. One of the problems was the facilities and the portaloos, and in particular women's portaloos that men were using. They have apologised for this. They are going under the redevelopment, and they do have the same issues in other parts of the ground as well. So they're going to look into that. There were some people that were disappointed they couldn't get into the club shop to purchase pin badges and the like. He doesn't know about this, why this was, but again, he's going to bring this up. No vegetarian food, and also hot drinks with no lids on, which is a health and safety issue as well. And that is just in addition to the problems with the overcrowding and the stewarding. So he has come back to me and they're looking into it. They'll take it up with the club, and any feedback they get, they will certainly forward on to us. So that's really all we can ask, that they do take account of it. So that's that.
Right. The club have now officially said James Scanlon has joined on loan till the end of the season. Jake Batty has also signed today. So those are the two transfer deadline day signings. Scanlon and Batty both confirmed. I think James Scanlon is the first Gibraltarese international to play for the town. I might be wrong. We had a Maltese international called John Buttigieg many years ago under Aussie. But I think James Scanlon is the first Gibraltarese international. If anybody knows any different, please get in touch. But both James Scanlon and Jake Batty have now been confirmed by the town on deadline day signings. So those are done.
Excellent.
We'll wait to see if any more are. The window is now shut.
But they still can announce, can't they? Because as long as everything's been agreed by 7 o'clock, they've got a couple of hours to get it formalised, haven't they, now? So, okay, so I'm going to bring the panel on. There's Phil.
Good evening.
Mark.
Good evening.
There we go. I will see you later.
Thanks very much indeed, Chris. Thank you for all that information. Lee says, any news on the EFL Cup announcement? That's all I can say. I have no idea. Gaza Jean says 2 good signings today. Also on the subject of Steve Finney, Mark Jeffrey said, what a great player he was for Swindon Town Football Club. One Steve Finney. Duncan Shearer and Steve White have been suggested for the silhouettes. What we want is images which absolutely personify those players. So there'll definitely be two we could look into. Weren't any pin badges anyway, second season running, says Sean at Bromley. So those are the contacts we've had so far. If you want to get in touch, please feel free to do so. Right, let's go around the panel. Phil, 2 signings so far. What are your thoughts on that?
They're both short in height. Scanlon's 5'7", Batty's 5'9", but I hope they more than make up for it in their ability to play. Batty, I assume, will go in left fullback or left wing back. Scanlon, I'm not sure how he will compete with Holman or with Michael O, but he looked talented on the clip I saw from Man United of him, so he may force his way in above one of them.
Gus, you don't have this transfer window stuff in America where everybody goes crazy for one day of the year, do you? Do you have anything similar?
In college sports, there is a little bit, and it's happening a little bit in college basketball right now. But this is unique. I mean, it's not something I'm super familiar with. It seems obvious to me for Swindon. It's been incredibly disruptive. It's been a tough little stretch here, and I think that hopefully we'll gain more than we lost. But losing Finn Monroe is going to take a whole lot to replace him. Not that these players are necessarily replacements, but that's a real loss, I think. And I think it's really up to the coach at this point to figure out how to use the players we have and to get us back on track during this very unsettling period for the team.
Yeah, that is the point, isn't it, Mark? All of a sudden, we always face this in January. You've got to build a new team again, pretty much. I mean, that's what happens, isn't it? I mean, we saw Ollie Kigby on Saturday, who was unbelievably good, fabulous to watch. But you've really got to fit all these new players into a squad that's pretty settled.
That's right, and I think you've got there's very little chance to sort of try things out on the training pitch right now because we've got games, 2 games a week between now and sort of the end of February. So the games are sort of coming thick and fast. They have to gel. There is a period of sort of bedding down. But I'm excited about these 2 players. They're both left field, and we definitely miss Finn Monroe. So it'd be great to see whether Jake Batty can be a replacement for him. And I believe James Scanlon's another left field attacking midfielder as well. So it'd be interesting to see how they fit in, and if they're as good as Ollie Kigby, then great. We'll have attacking left and right, which is great to sort of look forward to.
Mitch, what are your views on the 2 new boys?
How do they all fit in? We've got quite a big squad as it is, and this is a big old squad. If it's going to be at the expense of somebody else, so we'll say the new left wing back, left back fits in. If you play Ollie Kigby on the right wing, where does the Man United player play if you have Drennan up front or Palmer or Holman? It's just suddenly the formations. The formation on Saturday was a very lopsided 5-3-2, shall we say. What's the formation? What I don't want to see is a 5-2-3 to try and squeeze everyone in like he did a few points at the start of the season. We look completely exposed in the middle. So I get excited about the players because the stuff I heard about the Man United guy is quite exciting, but how do we fit everyone in? My concern is when we got a lot of players, Ollie's kind of trying to squeeze them all in. He did that at the start of the season with Drennan and Palmer and everyone. It just looked the team a bit unbalanced. I'm just hoping he picks the right players and not try and squeeze players into a formation because we've signed them.
Well, Martin's made this point. The squad now has 28 senior players, maybe soon to be 29. I know 4 are long-term injured, but seems excessive, difficult to manage. So kind of that goes along with your point, Rich, doesn't it? I mean, it's up to the manager, really. Clearly, he has to sort this out. That's his job. But that's a lot of players, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of players, and a lot of them are young kids, so that should be slightly easier to manage. But there's going to be people who are experienced players who have been in the squad that suddenly, Kirkman can go from starting on in the week on Saturday playing quite well to suddenly potentially not in the squad, or there's going to be people who are on the bench who didn't make the squad, and you've got players coming back from injuries. It's a really hard batch. I'd like to see the fact that we have more players, but I just want to see some of those experienced players, some on the bench and some in the first team, so that we can bring an experienced player on. Because there's a game a while back and we looked at the bench and it was just all in it was the Bromley game. We had no experience on that bench, so as long as we get the balance right, it should work.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's have a look. More comments coming in. Old Duffer Ratter says he's just missed out on a contract. Have to wait until the summer. Never mind. You'll get a game one day. Here's a point that we'll go on to a little bit later. This is from Glyn. Has Andrew Hawes got over the Ian Holloway interview? And then R.I.P. Steve Finney. Obviously, we will touch on that later. I trust you. Trust me. Darren says that stopped the long high ball then. Loved it. Says it like a fan. That was presumably about Holloway's interview on Saturday. Much better when we play it on the ground anyway. Daz says you are correct. Scanlon is the first Gibraltar international to play for the town. 20 caps, 2 goals. Adrian says, why do Swindon supporters put fake news on Facebook? Absolutely stupid. I've seen Oxlade Chamberlain's been mentioned. There you go. I really like listening to what Gus thinks about the town. Nice to have a point of view from outside the immediate STFC bubble. We'll be back with you in a minute, Gus, just to get your views on this. I want to talk about Michael Olakugbe, though, Phil. I mean, it's been a long, long time since, I saw a player and I thought, this is really, really exciting me. Gets me out of my seat. He looked fabulous. He worked hard. He gets that little extra bit of space to get the ball in, doesn't he? Fights back. I thought he was terrific.
His speed over 5 yards was electric. A number of times he was level with a player and then he created good space to be able to get a cross in. I felt the first half we were feeling our way with him. It was the second half when we actually started hitting the right sorts of balls towards him that gave him that opportunity to take them on. And I loved it when they even put 3 players across to try and stop him, and he still worked his way through. I think Holloway will develop him even further, I think, just to maximise the potential that he's got there. But with big men in the centre, he should better land a few lovely balls on Mr. Drinnan's or Mr. Palmer's head.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect, isn't it? Put the ball in the middle for 2 big blokes. I mean, that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. And, he just, I thought, grew during the second half. He looked frustrated in the first half, but in the second half, I think we got the idea what sort of ball to play him, when to play it to him, and he did the business. And,
there were 1 or 2 moments when he was out on his own on the wing, and we're sort of, give him the ball, because he was in loads of space.
There's a classic moment when Kilkenny looked towards him and then went left side instead of knocking the ball out to him on the right. And he was completely clear. And you just thought, come on, get used to looking to the right side, not just funneling down the left all the time. But that's what they've got to quickly learn, how to get the best out of him, and on different surfaces as well. Harrogate's fairly hard, difficult surface, I think he'll play on tomorrow night. And it'll be interesting to see how he copes with that, because they've had a lot of rain.
It's interesting that there was an offer apparently to take him somewhere else, but he decided he wanted to stay. Right. Let's go back to your fan then, Gus. Where's it gone? It's from Howard the Duck, by the way. Thank you for that, Howard. Let me get your impressions of your visit to the county ground on New Year's Day first, because we haven't spoken to you since.
We haven't. And I just want to say thank you to Uvik and to Chris and to the club. and to everybody I met. It was wonderful. I got to hang out with Rob and Ray and Andy and a lot of people I'm going to not think of their names right now. I got a picture with Rock and Robin. I mean, it was quite the time. The whole family was there. My wife, Early, and our sons who are 23 and 21. And we just had a wonderful time. Got some pasties, had a drink at the Legends Lounge, and the environment was wonderful. The fans make the experience, in my opinion. It was just a lot of fun with 10,000 people there, almost 10,000 that day. Winning helps. Thank you, team, for that. What else? What else to say? And thank you, Vic, for arranging my opportunity to meet Coach Holloway and his lovely wife. I think her name is Kim. In the parking lot ahead of time. He would walk right by, and he was incredibly gracious and lovely and generous, and spent some time with us, and it was just really, really nice.
I arranged it for him to walk across the car park at that very moment. I'm glad you had a good day. Yeah,
you have a beautiful facility, and I think the fans know deep in their hearts what they have, but it's really a special place. It's a very special place.
And until Saturday, that was our last win in 2026. So we've got rid of that one, thank goodness. Otherwise, you'll have had to keep coming over. That gets back on the win ways again. This is from Peter Thomas Banting. Hiya. Noticeable that we're playing it out from the back more on Saturday. Drinnan's missed header came at the end of a quick release by Ripley. Would have been a great goal. Hi, Daz. Batty won numerous awards at the Accrington Stanley 2024-25 end of season awards, including Players' Young Player of the Season and Supporters Trust Young Player of the Season. And Gary says, Jake Batty got League 2 experience at Accrington Stanley and did well by all accounts, 29 games. So we'll see how those bed in. What do you think of the game on Saturday, Gus? Because I'm sure you did watch it. I know you did.
I did watch it. I mean, obviously it was a much better game. You're the person you were just reading his comment, that cross by Ola Kigbe, it was a long throw by Ripley. Ola Kigbe went down about 70 yards with that ball, put a beautiful cross, and it almost happened. It almost went in. And afterward, he, of course, it was the man of the match, and he was interviewed, and he said that he is learning a lot from both Drinan and Palmer, and that he is looking forward to this season. And, you could see he was very energized. Previous games, he had never started, but previous games he had come in and his passing was abysmal. He would be driving up and he'd half the time pass it right to the other team. And I don't know what got into him in the second half of this game, but keep doing that, Michael. Keep doing what you're doing, because he really, really looked like somebody could help us get into the next, to get promoted.
Yeah, it's very rare that when a player comes off the pitch, the whole ground stands up. I mean, it's very rare that happens, and that was a great moment. Scanlon will wear the number 21 shirt, by the way. That's just been posted by the club. Right, so Saturday's... what did you purchase in the club shop, Gus, says Sean. If so, that is. I know you did. So let's have a look. Excellent. Very good indeed.
Good.
Very nice.
Everybody in our family got similar attire, so we're very happy. I'm the only person in Machapongo, Virginia, going to the grocery store with this hat and this scarf.
Brilliant.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen anyone else.
Very good. Mark, this is the bare facts of it. Swindon Town 3, Barrow 1. Ollie Palmer on 20 minutes. Aaron Drinnan on 77 and 87. Danny Rose scoring for Barrow. There's only one Danny Rose, but apparently there are quite a few of them. The assist from Will Wright on 20. Billy Kirkman also. Swindon with a 4-3-3. Ripley in goal. Wright, Tavazzoli, Wilson, Brown, Kirkman. Mabetti on for Tavazzoli on 91. McGregor on for Wilson Brown on 46. Bohr, Nichols, Kilkenny across the middle. Oldacre on 75. A yellow for Nichols on 31. Holman, coming on for Nichols. And then Kilkenny up front. Ola Kigbe, replaced by Snowden on 91. Drinnan and Palmer. What was your view, Mark?
It was really good to see him get back to winning ways. Been through a bit of a sticky patch lately, and we need to arrest that sort of decline. 3-1. Little disappointed to concede the goal in the way we did. I don't think anybody sort of got up for the header there, and it sort of crept in. But great to see the team respond in the way they did, and some really good performances. And joining 16th goal of the season as well, 15th and 16th goal, the league goal of the season. This first goal was an absolute peach of a goal, so that was really good to see. And then of course Palmer before that with his volley. So some really pleasing performances there.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Drinnan's goal, where the ball was played through to him perfectly, wasn't it? It was a beautiful ball for him to run onto, and then he just curled it into the far corner. It was a great finish.
Oh, it's lovely to see. He's been a delight, and so pleased that we've been able to retain him. I understand we've turned down some offers from Salford for him today. Substantial. It's rumoured, I think, £400,000 was one of the rumours. So it's great that we've been able to retain him as a Swindon player.
Junior Howlett is another one, Mitch, being touted, not signed, but he's been rumoured. I just wanted to go through the Aaron Drinnan thing because it reminded me very much of Duncan Shearer going to Blackburn all those years ago, where they basically railroaded Swindon's promotion hopes. And I wonder whether that was what Salford were after.
That was a bit before my time, I'm afraid. But no, it's an interesting one because I can't remember saying this because I'm a massive Drinnan fan, but even last year, if the money was right, I would have considered it. If the money's £400,000, if it's rumoured, I think you consider that because he might be our leading goal scorer. But as a team, I think he's arguably not doing what he did for us the year before. He doesn't seem to be working as hard, or he's been told to stay there and be the fox in the box and score the goals, which he's doing. You know, the first goal, I thought, why has he not squared it? And he scored a good goal. But from the angle I saw it, it looked like he should have squared it. But when I saw it on TV, I was like, what an unbelievable goal. You know, his confidence is sky high. And when they're on their they're in that form, they feel amazing. There was one chance early on where he's through on goal, and I think he just snatched it a little bit. And you can tell he's on a bit of a dry spell because that would have gone in before. But everyone has a price. You know, I know we're trying to go up, but I think it's the right price. I would have considered it. But I don't think Salford were really interested. They just spent a lot of money on that guy who scored against us, who shouldn't have played in the cup. They've got some really good wingers. Not sure where he would fit into that team. You know, he's a hard-working industrial player notoriously. So when he's not scoring, you know he's going to bring you something for the team. I'm not sure that's the Salford way. So glad he's still here. And
yeah, well, he's at the minute. I haven't seen anything else. And apparently he's on the bus to go to Harrogate, but not that means anything. You can leave buses, can't you? But until we know for certain, of course, we don't know. How refreshing, says Sean, yet again, that the club's stubborn is not selling players in a transfer window. Seems the club don't do this anymore. And who else will have visions of Blackburn poaching Shearer that time? Well, mention that just now. What are you on about? Sell him? Are you mad? Says Kevin. What's your reply to that?
Kev's a big fan of mine, so I was expecting that.
Oh. Fair enough. We'll let you have that then. Background views are in. I think I might have a bit of a background. I'll be henceforth known as One Shirt. Phil looks like he has made a decent effort. I was told Gus spent some time in the club shop on his recent visit. Has he not got round to unpacking yet? Well, you've shown that. Mark looks like he's in the bathroom. Are you in the bathroom? Cheers for Mitchell. Significant thought has gone into the setup. Impressive. I take it back, Gus. Good reveal. As an aside, I've been contributing to this forum for a long time, and you have never introduced me to Coach Holloway. I seriously don't know how he would deal with that, John, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's right. Thank goodness we got Clem. Power would have taken the money, Gary. Do you want to say anything on that, Mitchell?
I don't think the offer is £400,000 of us. I think we would have taken the offer of £400,000. I think it'd have been like 150, 200. But saying that, I wouldn't want to be Clem taking money for Aaron Dryden and having to explain that to Ian Holloway. I'd be terrified. So I think maybe Clem would just said out of fear, just said, no, not for sale. Maybe if Holloway wasn't in charge, he would have accepted pretty much anything. But maybe he's just scared of Holloway.
I'd love to hear the interview after if they sold adrenaline for 400 grand. I'd love to hear that one. Well, actually, I wouldn't, 'cause that
Mr.
means
Hawes may have been at deep risk.
I did warn him. You may well remember that I did warn him on this very thing 2 weeks ago to wear a tin hat from now on, not a flat cap. Phil, let's get on to that then. I mean, it was an extraordinary outburst. It's even made the New York Times, which it's staggering, really, bearing in mind what else is going on in the world. What was your view of that?
I thought it was typical Holloway. He speaks from the heart. I'm trying to trust that the information that he's working on from our end is correct, because he's really put his head on the chopping block and he's fighting to protect his club and his player. And when he feels there's an injustice, he's not frightened to say it. And I was expecting today to hear that the EFL or the FA were going to slap him with a big charge, but they haven't got round to that today. Maybe they're saving it for when they tell us we're out the Virtue Club. But he is a man who speaks how he sees it, and it's good to have somebody who's got the courage to do that. And I was cheering him on as he spoke it, and thought, good on you, mate. Let's see what they come back with at you, because it's going to force them to declare their hand of what is truth.
Now, if I remember, the police and authorities need 10 days to that game, don't they? Well, we're 8 days away, I think, from the Luton game now, and we still haven't had a decision. So what that will mean, whether we have to put that back a week, play Newport next week or not, I don't know. Anyway, that's the ramifications of it. You're the other side of the Atlantic. You have heard the interview, I'm sure. What was your view of it?
I did hear it. I don't know that I understood every bit of the context of it, but when I heard it, I thought he's upset, which he is upset a lot of times. That's not uncommon. But I also thought sometimes coaches in American sports get irate on purpose. They might be irate, but they also do it to motivate their team. They do it to motivate their fans. They do it to create an environment of us against them, of drawing the team together. It is not my impression at all that he has lost the locker room through these last losses. I feel like the team is still with him. They still trust him. They know that the better days are ahead. And he is seen, as Phil just said, fighting for the team. That's exactly the image that he wants to be projecting to people. He also mentioned a little bit more quietly, but he was defending a clerical person in their office as well. There was somebody who apparently had done something, put the wrong name on the list or whatever, and he was very upset that she was being treated this way. And when you're protecting your people, that's not going to be a bad thing. Your people will react to that. So part of it seemed like it might have been premeditated, which would be a very smart move on his part. I also noticed that Michael Okigbe was interviewed, and he mentioned that they're apparently going bowling today as a team. There's probably a method to that madness. It's a way to get the new people and the existing people together. I think this is all part of the coach's plan.
Well, it was an extraordinary interview, Mark, wasn't it? I mean, I've listened to it several times since. I think the underpants image will remain with me for a long time. It was an extraordinary moment. What was your view of it?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it's incredibly passionate interview. Quite right. I mean, to be told 5 o'clock the day before a match that you can't play your captain, it's going to be you can't sort of plan for that, can you? So it's understandable he was sort of irate about that. And the fact that we still don't have a resolution to whether we're going to be playing Plymouth or we're going to be kicked out of the cup, or whether we're going to be playing Newport next week is just it defies belief, really. You just really want some closure on this.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that, Mitch, don't we? I mean, I think you were nodding your head when you were further comments from Matt about it. I mean, I don't know. In terms of, having interviewed football managers for years, I can only imagine what Andrew Hall's face was like when he was going off on it. I mean, it's just an extraordinary 3 minutes or so, wasn't it?
I was listening to it and I was just smiling. I was laughing, and then my wife's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "I'll let you listen to it in a minute." I've wanted Ian Holloway, and I think I said this before, to be our manager for 20 plus years. Every time we lost a manager, I'd always go Holloway. And then when it happened, my friend was like, "I bet you're buzzing." For moments like that, I fell in love with Ian Holloway. For moments like that, saying it exactly how it is, not being scared to call people out, or just just being very upfront and we had so many years of managers like Kennedy and just, "Oh yeah, did you not see how many box entries we had?" or blah blah blah. I'd love, he says the odd silly comment, but I love it. It's what I want from my manager. It's passion, it's hunger, it's desire. It's it is wrong and it's good. Like, oh, you can do it because you're in charge. No, someone call you out for it. And what are the consequences? Oh, there's no consequences for any of you, but there's consequences for me and my people. How's that fair? So no, I love it, and I know some people might get frustrated at it. We might get punished for it, but that's the reason why I wanted him for the last 20 odd years, because I want somebody like that. I'm fed up of your Kennedys or your Lindeys or we did our best box entries. I want something like that. That's who I'll get behind.
I know that David Moyes was also in trouble for celebrating the goal. I mean, he used quite colourful language about that. He said, "I might as well do a knee slide or something the next time if I'm going to get done for it." I mean, it just seems ridiculous he gets done for celebrating a goal, but it was an extraordinary moment, and I think in years to come people will play that interview and it will live on forever. So I think Hall's done all right there. What doesn't make sense is that officials allowed Drilling to play on after a delay in the game, after phone calls, etc., etc. It's all baffling, says Sean. This is about the incident. If you watch since that Luton charge, you can see he has been brewing up. Hi, Paul. Holloway's interview is extraordinary, and he may well be in hot water for it. But how refreshing was it in this day and age of banal football speak? Answers we get these days. All power to him. And I think Gus, you referred to a defending official, was the secretary issue. I think he was talking about there. I think it's a responsibility to put the team sheet in. In the old days, of course, you wrote it down on a bit of paper. But now it's all done on an iPad and a portal and all that kind of nonsense. And this is what happened. Let's go to the top table then. Bromley went again at the weekend, 59 points from 29 games. Their goal difference is a huge 21. Cambridge in second, 53 from 28, goal difference is 16. Then come the aforementioned Salford, 52 from 28, 7 goal difference. MK Dons in fourth, 51 from 29, 25 goal difference. Notts County, 51 from 28, 14 goal difference. Swindon, 49 from 28, goal difference of 12. 12 months ago, by the way, they were in 14th place, played 30, points 37. So 12 points better off than they were this time last year when we started to have a good run. Walsall is 7th of 49 points in 28 games with 11 goal difference. Tomorrow night, Barnet against Crewe. We visit Barnet in a couple of weeks. Then Bristol Rovers against 7th place Walsall. Harrogate, bottom of the table, against Swindon, who are 6th. And then Notts County, 5th against Gillingham. We could, Phil, go back to the top 3 if results all go away. We win and everybody else loses. So we've got to be pretty close to the top 3 whatever happens if we get 3 points tomorrow. Phil.
I think it's a very tight league, and we've just got to keep our calm now. Other teams are playing each other at the top, and we've got to concentrate on our own foot performance and make sure we get 12 points at the next 4 games, and that will then put a lot of pressure on the other teams. Harrogate may well break the record and being our first away win on a Tuesday night for 800 days. Get that win under our belt. Could be a bit tough against Oldham on Saturday. Barnet will give us a game. Shrewsbury we've got a good chance of. But I think if we have the target of 12 points at the next 4 games, that will put the pressure right back on the other teams at the top.
Accrington Stanley, I think our last away win, wasn't it? We were 4-0 up with about 5 minutes of injury time to go, ended up 4-3. I was thinking, who's going to be 4 each? This is unbelievable. It's an interesting thing. It's a point from Chris. Hi, Chris. I forecast 24 points minimum from the next 10 matches. The panel thing. What do you think, Phil? That's 24 points for the next 10 matches. Is that doable?
It's doable. Anything is doable. I think a lot depends how the new players bed in, and if we can get a rhythm going, it would take a lot of stopping us, I think. So I'm not unhopeful.
Yes, I mean, you started watching Swindon on Boxing Day last year, so you're responsible for the good run, aren't you? As I said, this time 12 months ago, we had 37 points, 30 matches, and then I had that really good run. So if we've been in the situation as well now, 12 months ago, we're in a very good position at the end of the season. So if we can hit that sort of form, that's got to be very good indeed.
Yeah, I will take full credit for the good play. Thank you. I had nothing to do with it, but thank you. I'm glad they're playing well. It's been a lot of fun. What I see happening here in the last little bit is kind of an imperfect storm. The transfer period has not treated us well, unfortunately, but I think we're going to come through on the other end stronger, or at least as strong. The Clark suspension, the Luton uncertainty, we have regressed a bit and not been as consistent. We had the weather delay. We had, 12 days off. That didn't help us at all. And then we come back and play, 6 games in 15 days and more to come. It's been tough. And we played the top teams. But that period is now behind us. I'm very optimistic. That period is behind us. We're in the next 8 games. We're playing the bottom 4 teams. Doesn't guarantee victory, but certainly a better chance of beating those teams than beating the top teams. I think the coach is obviously a really good coach, and he's going to figure out how to optimize the players, which is not happening right at this moment. Maybe it did in the last game, but we had some tough games there. It didn't quite work out. I am really looking forward to the path ahead. I think we have a real potential, as Phil was saying, for a lot of points. We got to play well. We've got to not get hurt. We've got to maximize everything. But I really think we're close. We're close to being a very good team. We lost the last 3 league games by 3 goals total. As close as you can get. A few different things happening. We would have won all 3 of those games, and we'd be singing a whole different tune. I'm very optimistic. I think we have a real potential to have a good month here.
Just a reminder that Jake Batty and James Scanlon are both signed transfer deadline day. Somebody made the point earlier that James Scanlon is the first Man United loanee since Jimmy Davis, the late Jimmy Davis, a long time ago. So much missed Jimmy Davis, taken far too young like Steve Finney was. So that's quite a thing, isn't it, to get a Man United loanee? Mark, what about points over the next few games? Salford play on Thursday. They're away at Accrington. Bit of a local derby, that one. There'll be about 2,500 there, I expect, for that. What's your view on the games to come?
So we've got some. They're all teams towards the bottom of the table. Those are teams we should be able to put away. But yeah, I think last year, had you asked me that question, I'd be thinking, I'll be dreading those particular teams. They're all in the sort of the relegation fight, and they'll be fighting for their survival. And I'd be worried, but I feel we've got the sort of the firepower and the performance to sort of come through that. I mean, what was the score? The figures they were saying over the next sort of 12 games.
Hang on, I'll just get that for you. Bear with me a moment.
24.
It was 24 from the next 10, so it dropped 6 points out of 30.
Yeah,
is that doable?
Yeah, I think so. I think, if you look at the teams we've got to play, there's nobody really that I fear, apart from possibly Barnet.
MK Dons.
MK Dons coming up in March, isn't it? Yes, that will be a home one. So yeah, I think we've got to sort of 18 games remaining, we've got to be aiming to win at least two-thirds of those games, 12 games, and try and pick up some draws as well if we need to. But yeah, it's looking promising.
Sam has just made the point, and it's a very good one. Matty Kovar was on loan from Manchester United during COVID. In those days of watching on a laptop. You're quite right. He's playing in the Champions League now, Mitch, isn't he? Unbelievable.
The worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. And the best thing that ever happened to him, I'm so negative. The best thing that ever happened to him was behind closed doors, because he wouldn't have survived the mistakes. I ended up videoing it quite a few times and sending it to my friends who don't support swimming. Said, "You're not going to believe how bad this keeper is." And I had all these videos of him just making mistakes. Not one or two, just comical mistakes. One time he went to kick it and he went under his leg and went in. One of the worst players I've ever seen in a Swindon. And we got relegated that season, so no one was great. He was probably one of the worst players I've ever seen. But yeah,
the judge you are of a keeper.
Well, we had 7 goalkeepers that season, if I remember right.
It was a 40-year-old in goal in the end of a camp, wasn't it?
Yeah, incredible. Tom Heaton and Colin Heath in 2005. Oh gosh, we had loads then. Okay, thanks, Royston. Right, points in the next 10 games. 24, Mitch, is that doable?
Yeah, I can't see why not. We've got to get that balance in the team right. We need to stop messing. We need to find the balance of stop messing with the team, but keep fresh legs. It's a really hard skill set to do.
Yeah.
So every time he changes it, I get it. But there are things that, Nichols and Kilkenny shouldn't play together. Okay. What they kind of cancel each other out a little bit. Play one, and if you have to rest the other, do one or the other. Make sure you've got the balance of, say, Ball or Clark. If Clark needs to come back, get one of Ball and Clark, and then one of potentially the young players, or something along the lines of that. So when you look at the bench, you've got that experience to come on. So you can bring on Nichols to kind of see out a game, or you can bring on Ball. You don't want all your experienced in; they all die the next game. Like the fatigue wise, in the next game you got to play something young, and then you're trying to find that balance. My concern is that if we can keep that defence as stable as possible, again, just do Ball in for right or there, or when Knight LaBelle came in for Wilson Brown, just tweak it one at a time. Don't go crazy. Think we can do it. What I will say is all the teams around us, though, I was just looking, have got fairly nice run-ins as well. Nobody seems to be really playing each other.
Yeah, it is very easy to say they're all below us in the league and we should win, though. But we traditionally struggled against the teams lower in the table, haven't we, Mitch? If you think about it, I think we lost to Morecambe twice last year, didn't we?
That was
to Harrogate.
3-0 away. I'm confident.
The away game wasn't. The away game was under Holloway. We lost 1-0 up there on a pretty dismal day. So, the point I'm making is it's not always easy to win a professional football match, is it? No matter what you might think about the other team.
No, because notoriously teams used to come to the counting ground to not play. I remember when we were really good, it was harder at home than it was away because everyone would come and sit behind the ball. And therefore, we're trying to find these gaps that don't exist. Whereas we were really good at away because people couldn't do that. And then we can get in behind them and stuff. Yeah. So there are going to be teams who are coming not to win, but to not lose. That's going to be the hard part. But I just think we've got a few different combinations now where we can hit it from different places. You can go down the wide, you can put the ball in, go long, which seems to be quite a favourite of us at times. But I just feel like we do have a variation. Whereas previously, when we were really good, we just had the outlet ball, so we're trying to find small little gaps. So I have a little bit more faith in us against lower teams because I think we've got a few different outlets where we can score goals, and we don't look as defensively frail at set pieces as we have historically. There was a period at the start of the game at the weekend where I was panicking a little bit and we looked a little bit like our old self. But with Tafazola in the team and Ripley's pretty good at coming collect at times. I know he's not around for the next few games. We look a little bit more. That's always my fear with Leicester. They're going to sit behind the ball and just get us on the set pieces. Just feel a little bit more stable now.
Okay. The advertiser. Hang on, I'm just trying to get a message here because we're trying to keep up with all the rumours. In the advertiser, apparently, Joe Acklam has confirmed it's Junior Hoilett, but waiting for the club to confirm it now. So, yes. There we are. We're just that confirmation come through. We're still in the rumour stage. The window is shut. another couple of hours to go before we can actually get to bed.
He's injury prone.
Okay, well, that's news. That's pretty helpful. So 24 points out of 10 games, Phil. What do you reckon?
I'm hopeful. I think we got key home games against top teams in MK Dons, Walsall, and Chesterfield. And, you know, if we could see off those three teams at home, that gives us a bonus of 3 points over each of them. And that could be quite crucial. But, you know, they are big games for us. Then, you know, we got Grimsby as our last away game, which could be a tough one. But, you know, it's all there to play for. And as I said earlier, that it depends on how quickly these players bed in. Holloway decides on his best system and deploys the players accordingly. And, you know, we showed on Saturday that although Barrow were much better initially than I expected them to be, that we kept our nerve and in the end won comfortably.
Yeah. Jason says, let's go and win 10 out of 10. We can if we start playing well for the whole 90 minutes each game. 10 out of 10, that's a lot, but we take it. Hi, Adrian. Talking about COVID, I worked every game during COVID. The only person next to me with a mask on, I thought I know who you are, but by the size of his hands, it was Tony Coton, who is the Man United scout. He asked me how he was playing. I told him he's the worst goalkeeper I've seen in years. He soon left. How wrong I was. Well, he is playing in the Champions League. I mean, there you go. What can you say? Gus, I mean, you know, you are relatively new to this, but you're now embedded, not in the Swindon Town bubble, but the Swindon Town family, I think it's fair to say. You do sit apart from it. You'll have a lot of hype over the next week or so because of the Super Bowl. We get a bit of that hype, but the only hype we care about is whether Swindon get promotion or not this season. What is your gut feeling, Gus?
My gut feeling is that we are in the dark days of winter right now, and that things maybe don't look as good as they did, you know, just a few short weeks ago. But there's a saying in American sports, particularly in football and basketball, embrace the grind. You know, sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you just got to get out there and do it day after day after day. You know, it was raining in the last game. It was a crummy day. They pulled it off. I think they just need to get out there and embrace the grind and do whatever they can do to win. I do want to say one thing too. Connor Ripley is an excellent goalkeeper, in my opinion. He has been, I've seen a few things online where people are getting down on him. I do not see it. I would have made him man of the match at least a half a dozen games so far this year. He has been doing a great job. There have been a few goals lately, but you know, to be getting down on our goalie at this point is insane. I did notice that today that Coach Holloway mentioned that there's a chance that Connor Ripley will not be playing in the game, that he's got a family emergency that may or may not keep him out of Harrogate. It's unclear at this point. You know, I have great faith in Ward, but Ripley is a real asset. He's a member of the team, and I hope people can you know, let up on him a little bit. He's I think doing an excellent job. Yeah, I think the coach is working through a bunch of tactical issues, a bunch of psychological issues, and I think he's probably done about the best he could do here as a manager, managerially during the transfer period here. I think we're positioned as well as we can be. We just got to embrace the grind and get to it at this point.
You mentioned Connor Ripley. There was one save at Notts County last Tuesday, which was breathtaking. I think, and he made a couple on Saturday, which are crucial as well. So I think he makes saves at a very crucial moment. Darren says, "Am I on the FA portal?" You see, word of the month is without question portal. I don't think I've ever heard that word used as much as I have recently. Mark, let's get on to Harrogate tomorrow. They're not having a great time of it, are they? It's a horrible place to have to go. It's a long way. What do you reckon?
Well, I think we've got to go there and get 3 points tomorrow. They're bottom of the table. You know, they shouldn't cause us any real issues, but we know we have a. Also, Phil said we haven't won for 800 days on a Tuesday, over 800 days. So let's hope we can break that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope so. Mitch, I mean, that's a ridiculous statistic, isn't it? Not one away on a Tuesday in 800 days.
In the league, I'm assuming that
in
is.
the league, yes, yeah. Because we won it. Yeah. Luton, MK Dons, yeah. In the league, yeah.
We win 2-0. I think, it's one of those things where it won't be comfortable. It never is. I think 2-0 win. I just think it's going to be a match that the nations are going to play a part. I think they're fighting tooth and nail for everything or anything, so it's not going to be a pretty game. I think everyone's going to be plenty disappointed because it's not going to. I don't think it. Hopefully, I hope I'm wrong, but Big Mike out on the wing. I don't think the pitch and the conditions are going to suit him. A game where we need to play a different style of football. But like I said earlier, I have faith that we do have alternative ways of playing football. So yeah, I feel we win 2-0. These are not the games that, touch wood, concern me at the moment under Holloway.
Well, we need to get those 3 points, Phil. And I mean, I know they're bottom of the league, but they still have to be beaten, don't they?
Yes, and when we've played them over the years, they've been dogged, and they beat us 1-0 up there last season, and we should never have lost that one, but they kept fighting away. Be interesting to see Ollie Clark. He's had his mid-season break, hasn't he? 8 games rest. Hopefully, it will mean that his tank will be super full and be able to drive them in midfield, because his role, I think, especially at places like Harrogate, is going to be quite crucial in making sure there's no hanging around, that we do drive forward and get them on the back foot rather than letting them get at us. And, with our winger now, if we play the right sorts of balls, he's going to create problems, and we've got to make use of it. And they're going to probably load people on him, and we've got to make use of the spare space elsewhere. If he's getting hounded by 3 players, there's gaps elsewhere, and we just got to move the ball quickly to those gaps.
Yeah, he scored a great goal last Tuesday, didn't he, at Notts County, Ollie Clark. Yeah. It was a great goal. Sadly, we couldn't hang on to it, the lead. Loads more comments coming in. Kevin says, best chance to get promotion for years. It's a must for me. Anthony agrees. If we don't go up this year, we never will, and we'll be stuck in this league for years more. Oh, God. Hi, Darren. The problem is outfield players make a mistake, and it doesn't always matter. If a keeper makes one, it's the end of the world. We're all fallible. Paul says we've got enough firepower, I believe, to beat Harrogate. And Gary says, Holloway's done amazing. He's reshaping the academy, scouting system, saving the club money. No silly director of football. Gus, Harrogate. It originally was on when you were over, actually. Mm-hmm. You went to nearby York, I think, instead of Harrogate. What are your thoughts on tomorrow?
Well, is there a possibility that they'll score in the first 9 to 15 minutes? Yes, there is a possibility of that. But I also think we're going to come back. I think the woods are behind us. I was just trying to say in my last set of comments, I feel like the season's in front of us. We're coming out of a tough period. We're playing some teams that we should be beating. We need to get some confidence. We need to play everybody. We need to get Holman and Olakigbe and, of course, Palmer and Drinan scoring, and Snowden and, Clark and whoever else. I'm feeling confident. There's no reason on earth we shouldn't be able to beat Harrogate on the road or anywhere else. Let's do it, and let's get on to the next game. One game at a time, but let's just chop some wood here. Game. Let's win some games.
Yeah, Oldham at home on Saturday. If I remember rightly, we played brilliantly up there for 45 minutes. Phil, you were there, I think, weren't you? And then It slipped away a little bit in the second half, didn't it?
Yes, again, it was that lack of taking chances when we had them to build such that we could withstand them coming back at us. And it's like at Bromley. We should have been 3 up at Bromley at half-time. We didn't take our chances and then allowed them back in the game. And so there's got to be, I think, when we do dominate, we've got to take our chances. And hopefully with the players that have come in, that will boost us in that area and enable us to have more of a killer instinct so that teams can't climb back at us. And it really is frustrating, isn't it, when you see a team do all the good work in the first half and then not carry it on in the second. But I just think building the strength of squad now that he's got, that he can really get them to really drive forward, because he can stack and rack them now, can't he? Because he's got the extra capacity. And exciting days.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to last season, the ability of like Glatzel, Wesley, Joe Wesley, people like that, we had a lot of pace when they came on. Tired defenders. That was really great to watch, isn't it? So is it slightly different this year, Mitch? I mean, we don't have that much pace coming on, do we?
It's not just the pace; it's the running with the ball. So, like Botan Amin, I think Holloway said it himself. Different styles of players. I think he felt like he could let Amin go because we had someone like Butterworth who's hopefully coming back soon to run at them. Yeah. At the moment, we've just got loads of strikers just stand in the way of each other, but they pretty much do the similar. The only person we seem to have with exciting pace was obviously Jake Tabor, and for some reason he was never playing through the middle. He's getting played, and he ended up coming deep, so we couldn't even use his pace. We don't seem as Rackham and Stackham as well as we did last year, but I also don't think I think we're all around a better team than last year. So Rackham and Stackham was pretty much our only strategy because we had to, because we were kind of being out of the game. I don't think that's arguably the strategy that's going to get us through and up the league, because that's short term, not long term. So yeah, last year was just throw what you can. Your Football Manager strategy, put your players up front and try and score a goal. This is a bit more strategic, and we need attacking players, and with the likes of the quick guys kind of out, Bonan's out. I don't know when he's coming back. There are attacking options, but I don't think it's the same Rackham and Stackham we have. I think Butterworth will be an exciting player when he comes back. Just get him on the ball and get through. But there's still this Man United players like Holman's starting to look like a player who's got that little bit of he can drop off the ball and come and play a bit. So I think we've got more exciting options now than we did 3 months ago. So that's a good place to be in.
Yeah, it's Holman reminds me so much of Peter Thorne. The way he runs, he's like that sort of style. Donny Butterworth is your favourite player, Gus. From last season. It's good to see him at the county ground on Saturday. He's been at away games as well. Whether we get him back this season or, the months are now rapidly going away, but it would be great to see him back in a town shirt, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I did notice that Coach Holloway mentioned Danny in the recent press conference or talk, and said that he might be hurt again. But that I don't want to spread a rumor, because then he seemed to backtrack and say, I don't think he actually is. Let's hope we see him back soon. Can you imagine him on the left and Olakigbe on the right and just slashing into the middle? I mean, who knows? There'll be a few swings and misses there, but that would be exciting and would throw the other teams back on their heels.
I think those of us who were at Accrington that day when he scored that goal up there will never forget it. It was a magnificent effort. And I know the goal of the season went elsewhere. The lone player we had on loan from Swansea, can't remember his name. Cracking, yes, Cottrell from outside the penalty area. Fabulous goal. But I think many people would have voted for Danny Butterworth's goal at Accrington. It was fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Our time is up. No more signings to tell you about so far. James Allen and Jake Batty have signed, but we haven't seen evidence of another one. Junior Hawlett is being mentioned. We'll wait to see if that happens. I think I've got another 56 minutes. Chris, is that right? To get them all signed, sealed and delivered?
Yeah, I think it was, it's 9 o'clock, isn't it? 2 hours after the deadline. As long as everything's been agreed with all the participants, then they've got 2 hours to get all the paperwork done, which is good. Yeah. Fantastic. I don't like this comment here. Harrogate tomorrow is showing snow.
What?
Don't like that one.
That was
No, I don't like that either.
that was sleet. That when I looked at the forecast, that was sleet in the morning.
Okay, that's fine then. We'll go with that. That's fine. Thank you very much, guys, for taking the time tonight with us. It's been a busy one. So Vic and I will see everybody next week. See everybody at Harrogate on tomorrow night if you're going, and again on Oldham on Saturday. And we will have another panel next Monday, so to review the Oldham game. So we will
And
see
look
you
ahead
then.
to Luton / Newport, Plymouth / Newport, whichever one is.
Everybody, yeah, brilliant.
Every
Thank you.
Newport.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.